American neuroscientist and philosopher Sam Harris says that atheism is not a philosophy. It is not even a view of the world. It is simply an admission of the obvious. In all honesty, this is a beautiful and powerful rhetoric that I so admire, but I think that it is somehow flawed, and I could go further to steelman the position. Mere atheism cannot be an admission of the obvious. I would argue that the most accurate answer to the God question is Ignostic Agnostic Atheism. Let's dive into it. First, before one could be qualified to give an appropriate response on the God question, an unambiguous definition must have been provided on what is meant by God. We must ask questions on whether it is meant as some personal being with certain attributes, like in the case of classical theism,
"Let there be light," and the light was good.
or it is meant as the totality of the universe, like in the case of pantheism, or it is meant as some necessary metaphysical ground, and so on. Therefore, in the absence of a clear definition of God, the question, does God exist, becomes meaningless, and the agnostic will ask you what you mean by God before proceeding to engage you. On the knowledge axis, the most honest assertion is, I don't know. We don't and possibly can't know for sure without a shadow of doubt whether a God exists, irrespective of the definition that we are provided with. Neither do we know if this will be knowable sometime in the future. And this is exactly what agnosticism says. On the belief axis, we assert atheism. Since we cannot possibly prove beyond reasonable doubt that a God exists, we might as well just live our lives as though it doesn't exist if we are going to be as intellectually honest as possible. I mean, we live our lives as though fairies or leprechauns or unicorns don't exist because we can't get enough evidence or justification to convince ourselves of their existence. So we might as well apply the same standards for God. In summary, the full position therefore is agnostic, asserting that most definitions of God are unclear or incoherent. Agnostic, asserting that I don't claim certainty either way. Atheist, asserting a lack of belief in any gods. Considering what's been discussed thus far, the conclusion that follows is Ignostic Agnostic Atheism is not a philosophy. It is not even a view of the world. It is simply an admission of the obvious. I'd love to hear your comments on whether you disagree with me or I managed to convince you by the end of this video. As always, thanks kindly for the view, and I'll catch you in the next one.